without further ado, you mentioned our next guest. Let's not keep him waiting any while longer. You and I could babble on and on about what we think we know about KD and what makes him tick. Marcus Thompson from The Athletic literally wrote the book on Kevin Durant. Knows this man as well as anybody, in media knows Kevin Durant. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, that is an awesome
That's
sweatshirt.
great.
I like that a lot. A little support.
Yeah.
Support.
Oh, yeah.
I like that yellow. Oh, black colleges. Support black colleges. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that color on you, dog. It's a great color. I'm looking over there because my monitor, you over there. So good to see you, Marcus. I don't know how much you heard about our KD conversation just now, and we were reacting, or I was reacting to the Chips clip that we played and the conversation that aired on Bleacher Report earlier. Not sure if you got a chance to see it. If you have, would love your thoughts. If not, broadly speaking, would love to know where you think KD is right now in terms of just his overall headspace, his mindset. Having signed that contract with Brooklyn, so he's there long term. Just won another gold medal, acquitted himself well in the playoffs, even if it didn't end the way the Nets wanted it to. Just your overall assessment of Kevin Durant as we sit here and now.
But can I begin in a different place? Can I begin with
please
Draymond? I got a problem with Draymond. Hey, man, Draymond, if you listen to this, me and you got beef. You need to holler at me. I can't stand y'all people who do interviews better than us. Like it really upsets me. It really upsets me that would I've heard this KD Draymond stuff forever. I'm a little sick of it. I was like, I don't want to see this again. We're still talking about this. This was years ago, right? We've had a pandemic since then, right? This is are we still talking about this? And then I watch that thing and I'm like, yo, I hate Draymond. This dude is too good. He's
why you gotta be good at everything?
Yeah,
what did you
relax.
think? What did you think he did well? What did you think he did particularly well?
Well, I mean, he's cheating because he's got insider information, right? He knows the whole story, so he knows what to ask. But I love, number one, how he asked the question and he gave him the space to answer, right? And this one, as somebody who does this, I watch a lot of interviews, and one of my pet peeves is the interviewer trying to talk too much. And it was he literally will ask the question and then let it breathe. I was like, did this dude get a Barbara Walters training session or something? Why is he so good at this? And then his chime-ins were great. Their interaction was really good. I was just yo, this Draymond is a media dude. Draymond and Jamal Crawford are going to take over the media. Yeah, and it's
he's definitely
and I don't. It means I don't.
Yeah.
Right? I might need a spot with y'all.
It's funny you say that. I said that yesterday. I feel like these dudes we're like Homo sapiens and they're like the X-Men. They're like the Brotherhood. And they just decide they're about to wipe us out. You know what I mean? Just render us completely obsolete. Right. I picked up what you did. I do think he did a solid job. My review of his performance is not as glowing as yours. Again, he was talking to a friend. But I also recognize, and like I said before you came on, I also recognize me looking at Draymond Green right now as he is developing into this media personality is if somebody, and not even, he's better at doing what I do, way better at doing what I do than I am at anywhere close to doing what he does. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? For me to evaluate him as an interviewer, that's his side gig. So I'm with you 100%.
That's what's so frustrating about it.
Yeah.
I'm different though. I'm different than your curmudgeonly co-host, who is definitely a little bit curmudgeonly. I believe it is an adorable quality. I appreciate it. But one of the things that I've always thought with Kevin Durant is we project onto him how we think he should be. And there's a very uncle type of quality in KD. KD is the uncle who you're cool with, right? And I don't know what it is about uncles and aunts, but we accept all of them, right? Our parents, we don't like stuff about them. But uncles and aunts, we roll with it, right? We rock with uncles and aunts. Flaws,
that's true.
Perks, they're great because of it. There's a very uncle quality KD. And like you said, there'll be 24. There might end up being 50 reasons why he did what he did. But it really is that layered and complex. And I do like the fact that no matter what we say, KD refuses to be different. He's going to be curmudgeonly. He's going to be surly. He's going to be entertaining. It was just like, I think we got to see the bit of KD that happens behind the scenes, right? Where he will just talk to you, man. Like even about hard stuff, he will talk if you just talk to him. So to me, it was like, yeah, I remember that KD. This is why KD's cool, because you could talk to him about the most uncomfortable thing, and he will have an answer for it. And as long as we stop saying, KD, you should be this way, then we could just kind of like check out the person that is developing before us.
Mm-hmm. All right, now that's interesting, Marcus. So let me ask you this. Vinny Goodwill was on Monday, and he repeated something that he has said a couple of times. He has said, KD is the best player in basketball. We just never gave him the flowers we should have given. And so I think it was a bold statement from Vinny. I mean, some people say KD, some people say LeBron, Giannis, even Luka's getting a little bit of love lately. Do you agree that KD is or has been the best player in basketball?
Is or has been, pick one, will be. Like yes, he is that dude, right? I think at that point it's a matter of preference, right? It's a matter of what you prefer. I'm not gonna argue with people who say LeBron is the best player in the game. Like, I get it, but I do think that Vinny is right about that. And if you're Kevin Durant, it's got to be tough. I wrote about this in a book, but the one place that I think he'll get what he deserves is Seattle. But we ain't care about KD in Oklahoma City like that. Like, it was cool when he had backpacks and press conferences and he pulled out his Bible. It was cool, but nobody was talking about Kevin Durant like that. Then he comes to the Warriors and everybody hates him. So his first time on that stage was hate. So no, Vinny's right. He hasn't gotten his flowers. He hasn't got his time in the sun. His fanfare does not match his talent. Most people with his level of ability, and we're not even talking about just pro. We wasn't on KD like that at Texas, and probably because at high school, probably because he hopped around high schools and he was skinny and people didn't know what would become of him. But he wasn't on no Sports Illustrated cover, right? It wasn't no chosen one. We knew he was good, but at no point did his fanfare ever match his talent. And I agree with Vinny on that. Like, we don't appreciate the greatness of KD, and maybe it's because we don't appreciate mid-range jumpers, right? Like LeBron dunks like crazy, and Steph shoots from 30 feet, and KD will kill you with 15 straight 15-footers, right? Like, and maybe that's not as appealing as people would like, but I agree with Vinny 1,000%. He's never been in that space where he was beloved outside of the time in Oklahoma City, and I just think that was Oklahoma City. We really wasn't checking for Oklahoma City like that.
Well, tell me the layer that he brought to the discernible layer from either from your perspective or the other Warriors. Remember, we all know they won a championship, then they won 73, they lost in the finals. Then they came back with him, and they were just, like, in my opinion, just a monster.
Yeah.
What did you see? What did he bring out of others? What did you see in him that maybe you hadn't recognized before?
Well, first off, like, remember we was talking about the levels with Oklahoma City. The Warriors weren't on that level either, right? Like, it wasn't until 73 where people started believing him. Remember, after they won a title, everybody was like, it's fake. That's where we got the cool story, Glenn, from Draymond, because everybody's talking about they got injury luck and all that. So I do think KD brought the lights, like, he brought the brightest lights they'd ever seen. And they got to be on that stage, and that's what they wanted. But mostly, man, I don't think they've ever been in the presence of such a baller, right? And watching a guy say, yo, I can have the ball or not. Like, I could take 30 shots, or I might only need 15. I could flip a switch and I could drop 50, or, man, I could just play defense and pass. And I think him being able to hop around almost forced other people to hop around too, right? Draymond became an incredible floor general. Like he averages 7+ assists now because he had to be that when it was KD was there. Steph became this super off the ball dynamic scorer. He could do it. He did a lot with Mark Jackson, but man, his ability to play off the ball became second to none because you can do that with KD. I just think he raised the floor and the ceiling so high because he was just so talented. And when he told Steph, bruh, you got to be you. I'm going to be good either way. It kind of unlocked something, right? Like it unlocked a level. Kevin goes so hard in practice. I don't think people understand this. Like the dude is going hard. It's hard to outwork KD. You know, like you can't. There's no slack moments. Even when he wasn't happy, even when everybody thought he was leaving, the dude was still in there sweating it out in practice, right? He was still going through it hard. So it just raises the level to have somebody who's that good around because the dude, I mean, he is that good. And I still think there's levels for him to get to.
And he spoke to that very commitment in the interview with the conversation with Draymond, which again was solid. I definitely would recommend it. And like I said, it gets better as it goes on, and you can see them both kind of relax once they get the required conversation out the way. It was pretty enlightening. I want to talk about the Warriors, though, the present-day Warriors. We spent a lot of time in the past, but there's a lot of anticipation about what they might do this offseason. Flip those 2 first-round picks, maybe get a Ben Simmons. Instead, they end up drafting Kuminga and Moody. What have you seen? Again, I know it's Summer League, but what did you see from the rookies in Summer League? And what's your assessment of where the Warriors are as they try to have this? They try to parallel path this thing, for lack of a better phrase. They got this finite window with Draymond and Clay and Steph, and yet Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman, they got this future as well, that these developing prospects.
Man, Kuminga's a bully, dude. Like I ain't never seen an 18-year-old come in Debo-ing cats like this. Like he wasn't about that. Find your spot, like take your time, learn it. Like he was immediately treating dudes like he was Kawhi and they were some little guard, right? And obviously, it's Summer League, like he'll get the ball, but he was going shoulder to chest. He's big. He's not little. Remember what happened to that, by the way? Remember when rookies were skinny and needed to gain weight and add muscle? Like this dude's coming in 6'8", 230, 240 and solid. Like, so I think he changes it a little bit. I think with Kuminga, the initial thought was these youngsters won't be able to do nothing. Right, you didn't really get them any help. Mm-hmm. I think they're looking at Kuminga like, yo, he might be a role player, right? Like we might be able to use that ability. But the truth is, all this falls on Clay, right? The bottom line is Clay, Steph, and Draymond got to be great, and that begins with can Clay be Clay again? So none of it matters if Clay is not healthy and is not that good, right? If he needs more time, then Kuminga ain't good enough to fill it. They didn't answer that question. But if Clay is good and Steph is still great and Draymond is good, now you got a little bit more and ancillary pieces. That's what they needed. They needed some pieces to kind of bolster that. Wiggins as your 4th best player, I know he's making $33 million. That's a hell of money. But if he's your 4th best player, your team is pretty good. And with Clay healthy, that's what he becomes. So Kuminga, though, that dude is, man, he's a bully. And all these people we're talking about his work ethic. The brother came from Congo at 13 and left his family behind. Like, you don't get greater work ethic than that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy right. to work ethic when he came out here. He tweeted like last month, yo, I had lunch with my parents for the first time in 5 years. You know how many people can't handle that? Like, you people break down when they can't see their parents. And this dude been going for 5. So yeah, he's pretty much, he's a savage, yo. There's a level of him where you like, whatever it's gonna take, he's gonna get it. Now, skill development is a whole different beast, right? Like even gangsters cannot be good, right? So there's a part of him that's got to learn how to play. But man, he ain't scared at all. I'll tell you that much.
Before we let you go, want to stay in the Bay Area with one last question. Oh, excuse me, I beg your pardon. Trey area, and you wrote about that 80-yard touchdown from Trey Lance. Against Kansas City in his first preseason game. Talk to us about the symbolism and the meaning of that throw, not just what it could unlock in Kyle Shanahan's offense, but who was watching from the opposing sideline, as you wrote about in The Athletic?
What's that dude named number 15? So keep in mind, in 2019 Super Bowl, the 49ers had number 6 locked up, right? They up 10 in the fourth quarter in Miami. Like, it's done. And then a dude named Patrick Mahomes start doing Patrick Mahomesian things, right? And everybody who's in the 49er nation is like, can we get one of those? Like, where you buy those at? Where you buy those at? Because, you know, Garoppolo, he's had a couple injuries. He tore his ACL. He wasn't this guy. Mike, I know, you know, he wasn't so like stationary. Part of it was he used to move a little bit. He used to get out the pocket. I mean, he was never Lamar Jackson, but he wasn't like, yo, I got to go through my reads, and if it ain't there, I'm dumping it off. And that's what he had become. And the Kansas City Chiefs defense kind of sat on that, right? And even Shanahan was like, listen, man, we just gonna run the ball because you're not really getting it done. And I think there was a desire to get one of those. They were talking about getting Deshaun Watson before, you know, he became a problem. And that they wanted to move into the future. And it's like, yo, can you get one of those guys who are not just plays over once the read isn't there? And Trey, man, off rip, he looked like that guy. He looked like one of those guys. And, you know, the 49er quarterback mystique is significant. Like, you don't just walk in playing quarterback for the 49er. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So he walked in at number 5 on the field. Like, he looked like he was ready. He looked like he wanted some smoke. And then he had on some, like, cement J's afterwards. And I was like, man, when the last time you seen a quarterback rocking some cement J's at a press conference in the 49ers? It don't happen. They come up there with the little Billabong t-shirt and cargo pants. Yeah, like, so he got some swag, too. It was like, what is happening here? Man. Like, the 49ers might be back.
I was just about to say, because when you talk about can we get one of those, I'm like, oh yeah, it's been so long. Oh my God, the 49ers have never had great quarterbacks.
Niners.
Oh my God,
on,
so
man.
spoiled.
Like,
so spoiled. You need another great quarterback, huh?
Like some franchises say like, we'll just take a Jeff Garcia. We'll take your like leftovers, like anything. Some franchises don't have a quarterback at all.
We'll take your Alex Smith.
Yeah.
That's literally. By the way, I think it's important to say. It's important to say to you two, once young black men, right? Y'all just on the other side of young. That I hope when you were watching Draymond and KD, I hope you felt the powers of reconciliation and the importance of two uncles getting through their beefs. You know what I'm saying? As much as y'all be arguing on this show, I hope y'all see that no matter how far Holly goes, there's always a chance to get back, right? You can always make it back. That's what these two old black men show. You can argue over who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson. You can fight. You can get to a near fight. And then eventually, a couple drinks later, you back giggling again.
Marcus, I'm stuck. I'm stuck with Holly. He is the, what you call it, Michael? The executor. He is the executor of my trust. Okay, like like Mike got power over me that goes beyond this show.
Marcus. In my sleep, I practice writing Michael Holly trustee in my sleep. It gives me great power. I love it.
You two are the ultimate uncles.
Yeah.
Y'all the ultimate uncles. Y'all gonna give me $5, give me some game, and tell me something my parents don't want me to know. That's who y'all are.
Well, you and I are definitely overdue for an offline conversation, man. Appreciate the time. I know you got to run, do a podcast. It's always fun having you on, man. Let's do it again real soon, all right?
Absolutely. You know one thing KD missed? You know one thing Draymond missed that I thought he was going to talk about?
What?
I thought he was going to get on him about brushing his hair.
Oh. He tried. Listen, he was a guest. He tried to, be nice with him. It was his first show.
I take KD's approach. I take KD's approach. It's just hair. Yeah. Why y'all care? Thanks, fellas, for having me.
Hey, take my approach. Shave it off. Let it go. He had a good run.
I'm with it.
I had a good run too. I'm done.
Mike went home. You went home, as they say.
Mike went home.
Marcus Thompson, read him in The Athletic.